I need to make a game over div. When we score, the cheer plays. When it's ended, we go to something called cheer over. Cheer over tells the warning to play, like the beep, beep, beep. There's something else that's causing it to play over and over and over again. The ball being off the screen that's causing that. When the ball goes off the screen, one of the things we want to do is stop the ball. Let's go and look inside the sprite. Red scores if the ball is off the screen to the right side. What we need to do is stop the ball and put it somewhere else. We want to put it at -1000 and park it because we've handled for that here. In my red scored, we are going to park the ball. Same within the blue scored. Into the utilities. In the red scored, we are going to, let's park the ball. We'll make a function called park ball. That function, all it's going to do is the ball's position is going to be set to -1000, its X position. Is equal to -1000, and the ball Vx and Vy is set to 0. Okay. See if that works. That totally works. The cheer is working. We need to make a div that says game over when the game is won. Check to see if we've won. If red has just scored, let's check if it's won. If red score is greater than the maximum -1, then red has won. So we need to, let's make a maximum score up here. We already have a max score. It's 1. Let's make it 2. If red score is greater than a maximum score -1, then we win. Same thing for the blue score. Park the ball, make the blue score go up by 1. If the blue score is greater than max score, then we will go to a function called win. We'll do cheer, we'll do the other cheer. So cheer2.play. There, like that. So cheer2.play. Cheer2 is the other cheer. When the cheer2 is over, we need to go to a game over function. Cheer2, add event listener ended, and it's going to be, we're going to go to game over. We need to make a function called game over. Game over. And in the game over, we're going to play the game over sound, and we're going to show a game over image. We need to have another sound. Let me just copy all of this stuff. Game over. New audio, its source is going to be sounds game over. Do we need an event listener for that? No. In the game over, we're going to make a div appear. Oh, we have a game over and we have a game over sound. Yeah, we can't have a variable with the same name as a function. We had that error last time. There we are. In our game over function, we're going to play game over. And we are going to show the game over div. We have divs up here, so I'm just going to copy that code. I'm going to say make our game over div. Display is block. Let's also put our start div. Let's make that appear as well. We need to make that game over div inside the game HTML. I'm going to make a new div, call it game over. Let's have some text inside it. Game over div. Game over div. Inside the div, we're going to put some text. Text will be inside a little paragraph, and the paragraph will be game ID equals quotes game over p for text. It will be game over. Let's close the div. Then in our CSS, we should tell the game over div to be invisible at first and to be a certain size and to have the text be colorize the text and everything. In our CSS, I want to make a game over div. The display done. The font size, we'll make it super big. Font size will be, let's try 30 for now. The color will be red. Let's see if that works for us. Back into the HTML, let's save that. We have game over. Let's try and run that. It kept dropping the ball even though the game was supposed to be over, so we need to fix that. Back into utilities. On the game over, the cheer 2 should play, or else, if your score was at the max, it was playing both cheers. We're going to play one cheer or the other. The same for the red. in the CSS. Let's make the font 60. Let's make the position absolute. Let's make the top 0 left. Let's start with 100 pixels. I'm going to make the game over as soon as somebody scores 1 goal, so we don't have to wait around so long. Back into the utilities. Our max score was 1. Run that. Press start. Okay, so there's the win. And it should be, the game over should appear now.
Game over, okay, man. Game
so that's a good spot for it, like in terms of the height. Maybe I'm going to move it over, it's at 100 pixels, so 200, maybe 300. Let's try 300 and see what happens. And maybe move it down a little bit. The CSS, left, maybe 300. Let's move it down 100 pixels. Let's build in our blue score and red score. Go back into the HTML. We'll make a div for the blue score. D will be blue score div, and we'll make a red score div as well. In that div, we'll make a little paragraph, and it will be my blue score. I'll put a 0 there for now. Here for the red score, I'm going to do the same thing. In our scored functions, we need to tell the blue score to become whatever it is, and red score to become whatever they are. In the utilities, in our red score, we want to change our scores. Because it's a paragraph, we have to use an inner HTML to do that. Document can element by ID red score dot inner HTML is equal to whatever the red score is. Do the same thing for the blue score. That ought to work. The only thing is in the CSS, let's go into the CSS and tell it where to go and what to be. So we've got a blue score div, a red score div in the CSS. I'm going to make a blue score div. Let's turn this into a comment. Hashtag blue score div. Position absolute. Display is block. Our font size, well, let's see what that is. Our color should be blue. The position should be, let's say 0 from the top, 100 pixels in. The other one is going to be 0 from the top, 700 pixels. Save that and refresh. If it works, our blue score and our red score will show up right away, and they don't. The blue score isn't there. Let's see why. Blue score, well, because I have blue score twice. That's really why. That should be the red score. Then refresh. There's our blue score, there's our red score. Excellent. Okay, let's see if it changes when someone scores. Yep. So that works well. And then when that's over, our game over should appear.
Game over, man. Game over.
Okay, I need to raise that a little bit higher and move it just a little bit back. It seems to be working fine. The wrong person got the point here, though. Or the red, oh, okay, the red should be on this side, the blue should be on the other side. Let's fix that. The game over div, we're just going to raise it a little bit higher, maybe to 70 and a little bit back, so 250. Let's try that. And I put the blue score in the wrong spot. So this should be at 700 and this one should be at 100. Let's try that. Let's try setting the score to 2 just because I want to see what happens when you score without winning. In the utilities, we're going to make the maximum score 2. Run that. Oh, I just thought of something else. We have to also reset the score.
Game over, man. Game over.
That's perfect. But notice when you press start, this is an issue. When you press start, the score should reset to 0. It's not going to yet. Oh, and I can't press start because it is underneath this div. There's 2 things we can do. We can move the div, or we can tell the start button to be at a higher level, and that's what I'm going to do to fix it. In the CSS, our start div is right here. I can give it a higher Z index than the game over div. I can just say Z index is 10. Give the game over div a start index of 1. So it has a lower then index them.
Game over, man. Game over.
Can I click on it? Yep. All right, but it doesn't reset the scores. Let's go and fix that. So reset the scores. In utilities, when you press the start play, we're gonna make the red score equal to 0 and the blue score equal to 0. Change my maximum score to 5 and run it. Okay, so that seems to work just fine. And then the game over?
Game over, man. Game over.
Perfect. If we press start, these should go back to 0. Hold on a sec. We set the scores to 0, but they don't change. We have to implement the change. Here in the start, we've set the scores to 0, but we don't actually change the text within our HTML. You can just do that. For both red score and blue score, there we can set them equal to 0, but these guys are already 0. That is the game. Let's try it one more time.
Game over, man. Game over.
And if we press start, should set them both to 0. And there we go. And that's the game. Have a good day.